Let me start by saying that I moved to a rural town in the panhandle of Texas in 2007 with my own ex and his family. I had no family and knew no one except his family. That is, until I began speaking to my neighbor, Maria. She was around my age and liked the same things that I did, and she also had a son, so we quickly bonded and we became close friends. Maria was a small, petite, athletic girl who loved to run and exercise always. Maria had a routine in where she would go for a run every night down the old country road we lived on. It was quiet most of the time with very little traffic, and like clockwork, she would leave at 6 p.m. and run for an hour and come back at 7 p.m. every night. About 6 months into me being there, I'd say around February of 2008, Maria began to tell me about these weird lights that she'd see over in a bit of forest we had across from our houses. She said that for a week, every night, she would see them there. One by one, they would appear and stay stationary, and then they would slowly fade and disappear. This piqued my interest because I was an avid researcher and I loved everything paranormal. I told her that I would come with her that night and I would see the lights. Right before we were set to go on the run, I got a call from my boyfriend saying that he got a flat tire and he needed me to come and pick him up. I told her that unfortunately I had to go and that I would have to join her on another day. She said okay, and then she set out. I was gone maybe 45 minutes, and upon coming back, I was met by Maria, pale as a ghost, and she was sitting on her porch. Now, Maria, she's a Mexican girl and has a very dark complexion, so it really freaked me out when I saw that she had no color in her face. I hurried up over to her and I asked her what was wrong. She said, "One of them came after me." "What? What came after you?" I asked. "The UFO. One of the UFOs came after me." I sat down and listened as she told me about what had happened after I left. She explained that she was on her run and the lights, they appeared again. She stopped to try and videotape them on her cell phone so that I could see it. She said she took out her phone and started snapping pictures. She maybe snapped off about 3 before, all of a sudden, though fully charged, her phone, it died. Aggravated, she stuffed it back in her pocket and looked back at the UFOs expecting them to be gone. But they weren't. They were actually closer to her. This obviously freaked her out, and so she decided to start her run back. As she turned to start her run back, she noticed that one of them began to move towards her. She ducked down into a tall bush, sure that it was coming for her. To her relief though, it just flew over, and then it just disappeared. She ran back home and waited for me. Needless to say, she didn't go out running for a while. After about a month, she finally decided that she was just overreacting and that she would go for a run again. She asked me to go with her, but I declined. And thinking back on it now, I think I was lucky that I didn't go that night. She said she'd be back and that she'd see me in a bit. About 5 minutes after she left my house, I saw bright lights out my window. My curtains were drawn and they moved past really fast, so I assumed that it was just Maria's mother, who said that she was coming over to take Maria to the store. 20 minutes passed and I decided to go outside for a smoke. I was halfway through my cigarette when I saw them. 3 balls of light in the field straight across from my house. They were close to the ground and they were just floating there. I thought to myself, wow, I can't wait to tell Maria. They were there for about an hour, I would say, when they just shot up into the sky and disappeared. At that very moment, Maria's mother pulled up. She got out and knocked on Maria's door, and there was no answer. She decided to go inside and check the premises, but Maria, she wasn't there. When she came out, I assured her that Maria was probably still running and would be back soon, We waited for a while, but Maria, she never showed up. Hours turned into days, days to weeks, and finally, weeks to months. And nothing. Even with an extensive search, no sign of Maria was ever found. She is still missing to this day. I think about her a lot, always wondering if those lights had anything to do with her disappearance. I know what I saw that night, and I also know that she was afraid the night of her incident. And now, after hearing your narrations, I can't help but wonder even more if my beautiful friend Maria ended up like one of those other people, abducted, murdered, and then dumped. Just another mess to be cleaned up, forever to be on the missing persons list. G'day mates, it's B-Buster here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And you know, here in Australia, kangaroos get abducted by aliens all the time. I guess you could call them marsupials. Oh man, that was a terrible one. That was a terrible one. What am I doing with my life, man? Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just going to move on and just forget it never happened. Okay, guys? Let's just pretend it never happened, alright? Thanks again to the Hive member that bravely shared their story for us all here, and I hope you're doing really well. For the chance to have your story feature in a video, you can send your story to my email, which is in the description below. And as always, keep them coming, guys, as this channel relies upon your stories to continue. Also, please do me a favor and just state in your email what your story is about in the description, and also provide me with a short written statement of consent just so that I can be above board with everything. And also, please remember to tell me in the email if you would like to remain anonymous, and please change any names if you don't want particular names to be shared. As always, guys, it would be awesome if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates throughout the week. You can also catch me on my second channel, all of which have links in the description below. Thanks for always tuning in and for all the love and support, guys, and I'll see you mates in the next one.